Today we're going to work on a top to toe stretch, and there's no getting down on the floor. Everything is done in standing. So if you do need a chair or a wall or a windowsill, anything nearby just to hold on to for a little bit of balance, then of course by all means have that available. If you experience any pain or discomfort during any of the movements, then make sure that you stop or modify the movement to something that suits you better. If you're exercising alone, it's a good idea to have a telephone or a method of communication nearby. And of course, if you feel unwell, please make sure that you stop. You're just going to need a bit of space to move around in so that you can move your arms and limbs in all directions. And if you're ready, let's get started. So we're going to stand in a nice, strong, parallel stance position. Let the weight of the arms pull the shoulders down away from the ears, and think about pulling up and lifting through the crown of the head. Some nice, big, deep breaths for me, please. So in through the nose, and out through the mouth. Fantastic, well done. And again, in through the nose, and out through the mouth. Keep going with a few more of those at your own pace. As you breathe in, think about filling the bottom of the ribs. And as you exhale, relax the shoulders. We'll do one last one. Fantastic, well done. Now some nice gentle neck stretches. Taking your ear over to the shoulder one way. Come back through the middle. And then over the other way. And back through the middle. Keep going side to side. So for this first part of the stretch routine, we're going to keep the stretches moving. We're not going to hold them for too long. We're going to make sure the body is warmed up first. Let's go one more each side. Fantastic, lovely. And then to some big shoulder rolls next, please. So up, round and back. Do that again. Pull the shoulders open, squeeze the shoulder blades together and widen the collarbones. Keep working through that at a range and a pace that suits you, but you're trying to squeeze as much movement out of your shoulders as you can. Let's do one last one. And then you're going to hold those shoulders down and back. Drop your chin down towards your chest. And then we're going to roll the ear to the shoulder one way, down and through the other way. Keep going side to side. Think about firmly planting your feet in towards the floor and lifting the rib cage up away from the pelvis. Let's finish on this one. And then you're going to bring the head back up in center, keeping the chest open. Side bends now, so we lean over one way, slide the hand to the outside of the thigh, and pull back up when you get to the end of your available range. And over the other way, lean, stretch, and pull back up. Keep going side to side. And maybe just see if you can get a little bit further into the stretch each time. Good stuff. One more each way. Fantastic, well done. Now, turn the palms so they face forward towards the screen. Take your arms up and out to the side, lengthen through from the tips of the fingers in either direction. Why not give them a little wriggle while we're there? And then splay the hands out as wide as you can. You're going to soften that spread of the fingers as you bend your elbows and bring your fingertips behind your ears. Keep the elbows out wide, and then we drop the chin to the chest, bring the elbows together, and then push open wide. So we're getting a little bit more stretch through the upper and the middle back now. And wide. Go breathe in when you come forwards, push into the backs of the ribs, and breathe out as you open up. And again. Let's go a couple more. Last one. Brilliant, well done. Bring those arms back down by your side. Loosen out through the arms a little bit. We're now going to go into a cat stretch, so to curve and to round the back. If you take a nice wide stance, bend your knees and place your hands onto the fronts of your thighs there. We're going to curve the spine by tucking the chin down towards the chest and rounding the lower back, pull the belly button to the back. And then we go out in the opposite direction, stick the bottom out and raise the eye line. Keep going through those two ranges, curve and round the back. And release out the other way. Good, we can sync this with our breath as well. Inhale as we curve, and exhale as you release. Work through the full available range that you've got. Take some of your weight through your hands as they're resting onto the thighs there. Good, last one. Lovely, and then you can slowly walk your hands back up your thighs and give the arms a little loosen up again. Bring the feet so that they're a little bit more parallel now. Hands onto hips to encourage you to keep that chest open and the shoulders down. And we're going to do a little bit of hip opening. So all I want you to do is pop up on the toes on one foot, so you're lifting the heel off the floor, and then we're going to pivot from there, opening the knee out to the side so we get a little bit of opening in the hip, and come back in. And open, and come back in. Good, pull up on your supporting side, open and in, open and in. Now if you're happy here, just stay here with this pivoting movement. If you want to increase the range of movement, and it does require a little bit of balance, but you can always hold on to something if you prefer, we can actually lift that knee up and over, placing the foot down, and bring it up and over and bringing it back. So it's a very similar movement, it's just this one is a little bit bigger. So you do whichever one suits you better. We're going to go two more of whichever version it is. Lovely, well done. And then swapping over onto the other side. So we'll all start with the up on the toes version first. So up onto the toes, opening the knee out to the side and come back in. Out to the side and come back in. Pulling up on that supporting side. Try and stay up as tall as you can. Shoulders away from the ears. And then you can stay here with this version if you're happy. If you want to increase that range a little bit, you're going to pick the knee up and over and then bringing it back in. Holding on to something if you need to. Up and out. Back and in. As always though, picking a version that suits you best and just working within a range of movement that you're happy to control. Good, let's go two more. Great stuff, well done. Right, let's swap back onto that first leg that we did. You're going to go up onto your toes again. You're keeping the toes pressed onto the floor and you're going to circle round at the ankle. You might hear a few crunches and clicks coming from the foot or from the ankle. Don't worry too much about that. And then we go around the other way. I was only prompted to say that because I could hear my foot crunching away. Keep pulling up tall. Lovely, let's swap that onto the other side. So placing the foot firmly down in towards the floor, pull up tall, up onto the ball of the foot and circle. Kind of ignoring any of those crunches and clicks that you might be aware of. Let's circle around in the opposite direction. Fabulous, well done. Give both legs a little loosen off, and then we're going to come to a parallel stance again, just slightly wider than about hip width apart, bottom tucked underneath. We're heading into some roll down, so with this, it's a chin to chest and a fold forwards. Just go as far as you're comfortable to manage. If you're aware of any dizziness, then either miss this one out, or you can do the same exercise sat in a chair. So if you're happy to give it a try, let's go. Lift up through the crown of the head And then it's chin to chest, round the shoulders, curving the upper back, softening the knees, and then reaching as far down towards the toes as you're comfortable to manage. And then you uncurl and come back up from that movement. And we're going to do 3 or 4 more of those. And each time we're just going to hold for a little bit longer, get a little bit more stretch out of it. So a breath in at the top. And a breathe out, chin to chest. Folding forwards, going as far as you're comfortable to manage. Hands towards the floor or on the floor if you can, with a little bit of a bend in the knees. Make sure the chin is tucked in towards the chest, and see if you can push the tailbone up to the ceiling. And then uncurl and come back up. So it's a real whole stretch all the way up the backs of the legs and through the spine. 2 more, breath in at the top. Breathe out, fold forwards. Chin to chest. Soften the knees, lengthen and reach, tailbone up to the ceiling, round the shoulders. And then up we come again. Good, let's go, last one. Floppy head and arms. Reach, tailbone up to the ceiling. Breathe in deep there. And then let's come all the way back up. Equal weight through the feet, knees soft, bottom tucked underneath, chest open. Fantastic, well done. Right, we're going to try and stretch up the backs of those legs a little bit more now. We're going hands onto hips, feet probably as they were just before, about hip width apart, slightly wider. And I want you to try and keep your knees straight and a straight back. So imagine you've got a pole down the back of your spine, keeping it straight. And we're just going to fold forward from the hips. So like we're folding you in half, and you're going to bow forward, keeping the spine straight, keeping the shoulder blades squeezed together, and you should feel a big pull all the way up the backs of the legs. Good, and then let's come back up. Twice more like that. So lift the ribs up off the pelvis, remember that long spine, bending from the hips here, sending the tailbone backwards, hold so we feel that nice strong pull at the backs of the legs. Good, up you come. Now if you want to, on this next one, you can bring your hands behind your back, holding on or as close to either elbow as you can, and it's that same thing. So straight knees, lock the knees out, fold forwards from the hips, feeling that nice strong pull. Good, get into those hamstrings, and up we come again. Okay, lovely. Let the arms relax if you've had them behind the back. Variation on that one now. You're going to take one foot slightly in front of the other, still with a nice wide stance, but it's the same movement. So hands onto hips, both knees straight, and let's send our weight backwards, and you should feel it a little bit more up the back of your front leg. So weight is still evenly distributed across the 2 feet. We're going to hold it here. Good, we're going to hold it a little bit longer. And one last deep breath. Good, and then up you come. And bringing the feet into parallel again. It's a strong stretch, that one. Let's try on the other side. So other leg is slightly in front now, keeping the feet parallel and still quite a wide stance. We're going to lift up, hands onto hips, and fold from the hips. Weight evenly across the 2 feet, and let's hold it here. Good, so we're feeling it up a little bit more up the front, no, up the back of the front leg. Good, lovely, hold it, hold it, hold it. Let's just ease off, and then go back into that one more time. Lift, fold, and a nice strong hold. Good, well done. Up you come, and then give those legs a little loosen off, and the arms as well. Good, so a nice strong stretch there. I hope you felt that one, and I hope that feels a little bit looser. Carrying on down with the lower body now, we're going to think about your calf muscles a little bit. So for this one, I want you again with one foot in front of the other with the front knee bent this time. And then you're going to push up on the toes on the back foot and press the heel back to the floor. Push up on the toes on the back foot and press the heel to the floor. Really important to make sure that that back foot is parallel. You'll feel a stronger stretch if you do that. So this is that lower part of the back of the leg down towards the heel, up along the calf there. We'll go up and press down. One last one. Fantastic, good. Loosen off that leg, and then we'll go into the same stance on the other side. So big step back, front knee bent, back foot parallel, and heel pressed in towards the floor. Lift the chest up, and then we go up onto the toes, back down to the heel. Good, up onto the toes, back down to the heel. Well done. Let's do two more. Brilliant, well done. And then back into a nice strong parallel stance position. We are going to go a little bit wider than hip width apart. We're going to work on some arm openings now, so some rotation, some twist involved. I often find that it's just a little bit, feels a bit more sturdy, a bit more stable if you've got one foot slightly in front of the other. But you go with whatever feels best. It doesn't have to be a wide stance, but just that little bit of extra sort of planting towards the floor. And what we're going to do here is bring both arms out in front and bring the hands together in front of you. And then one arm is going to open round and you turn and look towards that backhand. So we're trying to get a straight line through the tips of the fingers in either direction. Let's come back into the middle and then we'll do that same thing to the other side. So open and round, turn to look to the hand behind you and pull and back through. So we've got a little bit of balance challenge going on, as well as a nice big stretch through the middle, the upper back, across the chest and through the arms. Good, breathe in at the top, breathe out as you go open. Breathe in, come back. Breathe out, go open. Let's do one more each side. Brilliant, well done. And then bringing the arms down to the side, give them a little shake out. Moving on to your adductors now, which are these muscles on the inside part of the thigh. So what we're going to do here is take quite a wide stance, one foot out to the side, and then on your supporting side, or the side that you're leaning towards, we're going to bend that knee, and you're just going to take your weight out to the side until you feel a pull on this inner part of the thigh. You might need to twist a little bit one way or another. And if you're not particularly tight in this part of the body, on this inner part of your thigh, it's quite a difficult stretch to feel if you're not tight in there. I certainly am today, and as you can see, now that we're warmer a little bit, I'm just kind of oscillating into the movement, moving in and out of it, getting that tension on the muscle and gradually easing into it. Okay, that support leg gets quite tired. So let's try the same thing on the other side. So from our really, really wide base of support, we're going to take the weight over onto one side, bend that knee, holding your hands onto your thighs to support your weight a little bit. And then here we go, trying to get this stretch on the inner part of the thigh. And it depends sometimes how your foot is angled as well. So play around with it until you get the best stretch for you. I don't feel it as much on this side. So I need to go a little bit deeper into it. There we go. Good. Okay, and then up we come. We're going to keep a fairly wide stance, not quite as wide as we were for those adductor stretches, but quite a wide stance. As we go into a big rotation for the upper back, now we do need to go hands onto the floor for this one. I will give you a modification later, but if it doesn't feel right for you, just miss this bit out or wait till I give you the modification. But if you're happy to get hands to the floor, And you can bend your knees a little bit for this. What's then going to happen is one arm is going up to the ceiling and you're looking up at that hand. Then you bring it back down through the middle and up to the other side, back into the middle, and then bring yourself up in between one to each side. If you feel happy with that version, keep doing that version. I'm going to show you a modification now, which is to simply take the hands onto the knees with slightly bent knees, and you can go with that same action, going up and out one way, coming back through, up and out the other way, and come back through, and then you come up in between. So whichever version you prefer, we're going to do one more together. I'm going down to the floor, you go hands to knees if you wish. Big breath in at the top, breathe out, down you go into that support position. Let's sweep one arm up and round, twisting through the torso, down you come, sweep around the other way, good, big twist, down you come, and then bring yourself all the way up into a good, strong, upright position. Just take a moment to get your center again. We're going to bring the feet a little bit more parallel, more like a normal stance now, about hip width apart, and make sure that you can feel the base of your big toe, the base of your little toe, and your heel all connected in towards the floor with roughly equal weight between those 3 points. Bring your hands round now and hold them behind your back. Get your elbows as straight as you can and try and lift the hands away from the torso. Raise the eye line. Good. And then release the hands. We're going to go through a posture check from the crown of the head all the way down to the feet. So imagine you've got a piece of string attached to the crown of your head, lifting you and pulling you up to the ceiling, lengthening through the spine. Keep the eye line parallel to the floor, so we've got length up the back of the neck, and the collarbones should be wide, with the shoulder blades just gently squeezed down and in. Having a nice long curve through the lower part of the back, and feeling that equal weight across the feet. Take 3 nice big inhale exhales for me. Fantastic, well done. That is your stretch and mobility routine complete. Thank you very, very much for joining me.